Hi, I'm Katie. I'm back. I'm not going to tell you where I've been, actually. I'm going to let you figure it out. I think some of you will be able to figure it out right now. We'll get to it another time. Because today I want to talk to you about business. I launched a business on the 1st of January 2024, so it's now been just over a year of being a freelancer, being self-employed, and there's a lot that I could go into about that. But something I really want to do is empower other people to do the same thing, because I feel very lucky. I can acknowledge that there was a degree of luck and privilege, but also hard work involved in how it went for me, which was fairly well. I'm not like sitting here like, here's how to be a millionaire and start your own business, blah blah blah. But being able to get off the ground quite quickly and sustain that for a year, I didn't think that I would. I really expected to struggle for much longer than I did. So I'm very grateful to myself for the work that I did to get here, and also to the external factors that were involved, such as I had just left a job and I had a little bit of money left over from that job, and I, already had my rented apartment, and there were problems with that, but like I had a place to live, and as long as I made the rent, like I was okay. So, I'm not saying that if you just do these 10 things, anyone can be successful right away, because it does take a bit of luck, and sometimes it takes a bit more patience. I also just don't want anyone to feel like if they haven't made it immediately, they've done something wrong. But I'm getting way off topic. This feels like that's a discussion. It's a whole thing. It's for a different video. I just want to talk about the things that personally worked for me. And they differ from some people's advice, because different things work for different people. And that's okay. That's normal. That's life. So this is just my perspective, and I hope it helps some people. I hope it makes you feel like you could do this if you wanted to. So the first thing I did when I said I'm starting a business this year, I'm not going to work a full-time job, this is what I'm going to do, I set myself up to be prepared for endless side hustles. I was walking dogs. I was signed up to a hospitality odd jobs app. I never had to use it. Same with babysitting. I was signed up to a babysitting app, but I never actually used it. I was picking up odd jobs from friends and family, connections that I kind of already had from previous jobs that just needed a bit of extra support here and there. I was fully prepared to do that, and I was doing it. And that's just what I had to do. Like I said, I had a rented apartment, I had rent to pay, and you just have to accept it, that might be your reality for a little while. Sometimes a part-time job might be more suitable. It really just depends on your situation. And again, you're very fortunate if you're able to not have a full-time job while you work on this. But in an ideal scenario, you have that little bit of stable, guaranteed income, and also the free time to be able to work on your business. And you are making at least a little bit of money from your business already. So it's not like you're not working full-time hours, or even more than full-time hours. It's just that some of it's in ways that you don't plan on doing long term. The second thing that I had was a small safety net of savings, and that came from leaving my previous full-time job, because I still had holiday pay left over. I hadn't taken all my holiday that was allocated for the year before I left, and so that money got paid back to me, and it turned out to be an extra month's worth of pay, I think, which doesn't sound right, but I really hadn't taken much holiday. So it was a fair amount, and I knew that this money was going to come to me, and I had planned that this was going to be my small safety net of savings. And this plays into, you know, having your side hustle jobs, and that it's all part of the safety net, I guess. Kind of related to having a safety net, I believe in having a plan B with a caveat. That plan B should be unappealing. You don't want to do this plan B, but it's there if you really have to. Some very successful people suggest that you should never have a plan B. Don't have a plan B because it's a distraction. It's like it doesn't push you to achieve your best, and I see that perspective, but I also think that being perpetually stressed about how you're going to make rent next month or the month after that or the month after that doesn't allow you to be your best self either. And it really does just depend on what works for you. But for me, I had a plan B. I had a full-time job that I knew that I could go back to, but I didn't want to. Those are all things that you can kind of plan, but also things that you are lucky to get. So if you're in a position to be able to do any of those three things, side hustles or a part-time job, have a safety net before you quit, and have your unappealing plan B, highly recommend that you take advantage of those things. Moving on from the whole safety net thing now, but still around planning, I had an extremely detailed plan for what my business goals were for the whole year. Honestly, I probably could have looked even further ahead than a year, but I didn't know if it was going to last that long. Probably, you know, that's not the mindset of a successful person, but we're here, whatever, it worked out. So I had a plan for the year. I knew where I wanted to be, and I broke it down. What do I need to do in 3 months to get there? What do I need to achieve in 3 months? What do I need to do in 1 month to get there? What do I need to do in a week to get where I want to be in a month? And what do I need to do today to get where I want to be in a week? And would you believe it? It worked. Following the plan, which involved, you know, how much outreach do I have to do? How much research into the market, into what I can offer versus what other people are offering, what my audience wants, how much skills practice do I need to do? And I stuck to that plan, and I actually couldn't believe it. Like, you know, you walk a really long way and it doesn't feel like it because every step is just one small step, and then you look back and you're like, how did I get this far? That was how I felt. So kind of related to those things, and I already mentioned it a little bit, know my market. I did lots of research about what other people were offering. And second point, know my value. What am I bringing to the table that they are not? Because I didn't want to be the person offering the lowest prices, because I couldn't afford to be the person offering the lowest prices. And I was on these freelancer sites like Upwork and Fiverr that I think they're fine for when you're starting out, but I don't think they're great to rely on. Again, that's another video, but I didn't want to be, you know, competing for those kinds of contracts. So I had a look at what was happening in the market, in my target audience. I had a look at the kinds of debates that were going on in my field at the time, and thought about which side do I take, and how do I align with a very specific subgroup of people that are going to be my laser focused target audience. And when I did that, I didn't even really have to do as much outreach as I thought. I didn't have to find those people because those people found me, which is great. Which is so much better than having to send 1,000 emails a day. Don't get me wrong, I was doing that too. Maybe not 1,000, but quite a lot of very targeted, very personal outreach emails. It's a lot easier when you don't have to do as much of that. So know my market and know my value. Know what unique things I'm bringing that other people are not offering, what unique stances I'm taking that other people might not be taking. And it's those things that make people see you and go, I want to work with you, even if someone else costs a little bit less. My next point is diverse networking, and I don't just mean diverse in the sense of people's identities, even though that is super important. What I mean by that is networking with people at different stages of their business. So I went to lots of networking events, and I went to lots of free ones that were targeted at beginners because I thought that's where I am, that's what I need. But what happens in those networking events is lots of people sitting around saying, I just need customers. I know what I'm doing, I just need customers now, I don't know how to reach them, because that is kind of the core problem for any business that's trying to get off the ground, anyone that's doing these side hustles and, trying not to fall back on their plan B. It feels like all you need in that moment is it's customers. So everybody at these networking events has the same problem, and I found it, while it is reassuring to meet people that are in the same place as you are, it's comforting, but I didn't feel that it helped me grow all that much. And what helped much more was meeting people at all different stages of their businesses. So people that just had their first customer, or people that had a few, and at the same time I was going to these more diverse networking events and meeting people who were extremely successful, more successful than I can probably dream of being, and hearing their stories, hearing about their journeys, and feeling really inspired. And I think there is inspiration to be gleaned from other people that are just starting out, don't get me wrong. I think that everybody has something that you can learn from, but just in terms of what I was looking for out of these networking events, I found going to these ones that seemed a little bit less aimed at beginners, because there will be beginners there, trust me, or ones that maybe were a little bit more intimidating, were actually the most beneficial. And going to them with the mindset of I'm here to learn, not I'm here to try and convince someone to purchase my service. I think that is also a very important thing to keep in mind when you're networking. So that's that, and it leads me on to staying humble. That is my seventh point. Stay humble. Like I said, everybody has something that you can learn from. Even somebody who started their business yesterday, what gave them the courage to do that, and what is their attitude, like what is their life experience, what hurdles have they had to overcome? They have something to teach you, and you are never too good to engage in that kind of discussion with somebody else. You are never above anyone else, no matter where you are on your business journey. I don't care if you're like a multi-millionaire and you think you know it all, because you don't. And I feel like I don't know any multi-millionaires personally, But when I listen to them speak at public engagements and things like that, I feel like they all have this growth mindset, this what can I learn from other people mindset. So, I don't know, I just think we all will grow much quicker and with much less resistance if we are open to the idea that we have things to learn from everybody. And in the same vein, when I was doing that skills practice, I was watching every single video aimed at brand new beginners, even if I felt like this isn't telling me anything I don't already know. It could be a 10-minute video and the first 8 minutes is stuff that I already know. But one, that's gonna remind me, it's gonna engrave that information into my brain. And two, those last 2 minutes could contain the key that you need to finally understand something for the first time. And you don't know if you don't watch it. So that's my 7th point. Stay humble. Point number 9, I read lots of self-improvement books. I'm not sure self-improvement is the exact right phrase, but books about finding meaning in what you do, books about motivation, and just those kinds of books that encourage you to reflect and to listen to somebody else's journey. Just really take a minute to think about why you're doing this and how you could be doing it even better. I find those really inspirational and so motivating. And when I feel like I'm stuck in a rut and I get a little bit, lost, I pick one up and I read it, and I just always feel that sense of, it's a sense of purpose, I think. Find my reason for doing it again. So point number 9, read your books. And my last point number 10, that I think might be one of the most important, is adapt quickly. I was offering a few different services when I first started, and I do think that having your niche is important, and being able to tell people exactly what you're good at is important, but also you might not know what that is when you first start out. So I accepted any project that came my way within reason, and based on the feedback I got from those, I figured out what I was good at and what I was not so good at pretty quickly. And it's not that I can't improve those skills that I was not so good at, it's not that I can't learn from that feedback, but when my priority is getting consistent clients and getting paid, let's be real, like, I have to pay my bills and setting myself up for success quickly, I didn't have that time to I didn't have time to fail. That's what I'm saying. I had these safety nets and plan Bs, but I didn't have them forever. I had a couple months maybe where I felt secure before I would have had to really rethink what I was doing. So adapting to the things that were working for me was really important. And now I offer a much more specific range of services. But if I had not explored different avenues and said, no, this is what I'm doing, whether I'm good at it or not, I wouldn't have got very far. Those are my 10 things in brief. If you want to hear about any of them in more detail, please feel free to let me know. I will be happy to tell you. I hope that this was helpful to someone. If you are trying to get your business off the ground right now, I wish you all the luck, all the success, all the motivation, the energy to do the hard work that it takes, regardless of how lucky, how privileged you might be. Let me know how it goes, and if there's anything else that I can create for you to help you, to be with you on this journey, because I'm only 1 year into mine as well, and I'm not sitting here like, I know everything, I got it figured out. But just, yeah, to be on this journey together, what a magical thing. Okay, I'm gonna shut up. But thanks for being with me, and I'll see you next time.